I've been asked to talk on the theme of why York. I first came to York in 1999 to do my PhD. I applied earlier to do my undergraduate degree, but was rejected, Sheila. Nonetheless, I came back because York is such a wonderful place to be. I left again in 2003 when I taught at the Universities of St Andrews and then Hertfordshire. I came back to the department in 2004 and have been here ever since. And this, in a sense, is my love letter to York. This is why this is the place that I am, and this is why this is the place that I want to be and I want to stay. Because, as Matt says, we are the best place in the country to study English literature. That's all there is to it. We are one of, if not the largest graduate school in the country. We've got world-class accommodation here with a purpose-built humanities research centre. The kind of investment that the university has made in the arts and humanities is absolutely manifest in this building, manifest too in the building site next door that you may have passed, which is our brand new teaching building due for completion in the coming year. We're world leaders in terms of our research. So Matt suggested we were top in both of the last two research excellence framework exercises, last time for the amount of 4-star, which is world-leading research that we produce. And most crucially for you, we were one of only 2 literature departments who scored 100% for a world-leading research environment, an element which really affects you, which has everything to do with your studies whilst you're here. In the new QS World University Rankings, we come out 27th globally. These are big figures and important ones for us to play with. So why are we this good? She asked modestly. Partly that we have great resources. We have, for example, the J.B. Morrell Library and the Raymond Burton's, the purpose-built, again, Raymond Burton Humanities Library, both across the hill. Those libraries are brilliant in terms not only of the resources they hold, and particularly the kind of electronic resources to which they give you access, but in terms of the staff that they contain. So the library staff that we have and the library staff dedicated to us in the English department bend over backwards to help. If you can't find what you're looking for, they will be there. If something's missing in the library, write to them and it will appear in the library. If you need something from another university, you request it and it comes. They're absolutely magnificent and tremendously and perennially helpful and amazingly fast in their responses. We also have the Borthwick Institute for Archives, which is just launching its new catalogue. It boasted, I think, I can't remember the number of items from across 28 countries in Borthcat. It's the largest records office outside London, outside the National Archives. We have York Minster Library, which is the largest cathedral library in Britain. We have Boston Spa, the only branch of the British Library to be coterminous with a prison. It's hard from the outside to see the difference between the two. It's possibly hard to see the difference between the intellectual ferment inside them both, but we do have access to Boston Spa high security reading room, which is a brilliant, excellent facility, which has documents which are only available there. That's the only place they can be consulted anywhere in the country, and indeed for some of them anywhere in the world. And we have all sorts of quirky and exciting other archives and libraries, including, for example, that held at the Lawrence Stern Trust. So anyone familiar with the oddities and digressions of Tristram Shandy can experience for themselves the oddities and digression of the holdings there. Or you can look at the libraries held by members of the Yorkshire Country House Project, all catalogued by members of the library here at the University of York. There are resources that you don't expect and that you can stumble across and that can enliven and enthuse your research in all sorts of remarkable ways. But perhaps our best resource is our people. So in that QS World University Rankings, our head of department dismissed as nebulous factors like research reputation, but as eminently concrete aspects like citation. On the basis of citations, we are the top English department in the country, the most cited English department in the country. So what that means is if you go to our wonderful library and you can't find the book that you want, and you go to our library staff and for some reason they can't get it for you, then you can just come and talk to us because we probably wrote it anyway. We've got 58 members of staff, I counted this morning, on the webpage, so we need to update where we say more than 40. We have lots more than 40, and we have 3 more joining us in the autumn, including one who's going to be responsible for a creative industries strand, so that's a very exciting development for the department. And, as Matt says, we have specialisms, research expertise across the sweep of the centuries, across the world, across languages, across genres, across approaches. In some ways, we disagree on what it is that we do and what makes English so exciting and where it comes from, and that, in a sense, is where the intellectual ferment of York comes from as well. The fact that there are so many possibilities here, the fact that you will hit on one idea with one person, develop it in an entirely new way with somebody else, and then see yet another possibility for thinking about your work in startling and surprising ways. We have open office hours, which are always there for students. You're always very welcome to come and see us. But in a sense, that's only the formal manifestation of what it is to be part of the graduate community in the English department. We are absolutely open and willing to talk. This is a department where I will always be telling students, please go and see another colleague, please talk to somebody else, where I beg people to see other people. Not because I do not want to spend time with them, but because actually the kinds of conversations I have with my colleagues are the kinds of conversations I think other people should be having with my colleagues. This is an exciting place where we talk about research. We did have a celebratory moment when we got the last rough results and members of the department gathered together for some Prosecco, which suddenly magically appeared from our depleted departmental budget. And as we raised our glasses, actually what excited me most was the fact that I was overhearing colleagues who were talking about their research. So at this moment of celebrating, we were actually bothered about what it is that we were studying, what it is that we were learning, what it is that we're writing, what it is that we're trying to produce and think about at this moment. We have a huge range of events. If you have good reasons for not wanting to go home, you need never see the people you live with at all. There are research seminars run by our schools and our interdisciplinary centres, there are workshops, there are conferences, there are events called lightning rods at which people talk even faster than I do and give information in 4 or 5 minute bursts. There are propositions, not just within English. At York, interdisciplinarity means something real. This is a university where I sit on TAP meetings, so that's thesis advisory panels, and teach MA students from the history department, from art history, from philosophy. This isn't a place where interdisciplinarity means reading something from another discipline or reading something that was written about something from another discipline. This is a department, a university where interdisciplinarity means mingling with your colleagues across the departments, across the world, leading arts and humanities here. So as Matt says, history second in the country, nearly as good as us. History of art third, archaeology fourth. And all of our colleagues, everyone here, creative, generous, inspiring and incisive. My own work has been shaped in profound ways by being a member of the department here at York and by being a member of the interdisciplinary community. As I say, it's a place where we talk about what we do and where it's a joy actually to come in and to hear the ideas that are buzzing and to get the kinds of inspiration that you only get from this kind of research environment and centre. So there's every chance too to be engaged in thinking about ideas and how they circulate and how they move beyond the academy. The brilliant York Festival of Ideas, the Humanities Research Centre engages with lots of different events every year, including schools events, our new biannual Shakespeare Festival and so on. All of these have heavy involvement from postgraduate students and every opportunity to think about how your research, your learning connects with people beyond the academy, from the tiniest to the most aged. There's York itself, as Matt says, a land of showers and sunshine, of baby geese and a plethora of pubs. It was said when I was doing my PhD that there are 366 pubs in York, one for every day of the year and an extra one for leap year. Whether that's true still or not, I don't know. I think some of the finest reporting that the York Press has done in recent years is its campaign to save York's pubs, and indeed there have been some wonderful establishments opened as part of that campaign. But you're also, it's not just about the drinking, in the middle of some of the finest countryside in England. I say in England because Matt says I'm from Scotland, but you are in the middle of some very beautiful countryside. You are closer to the British Library here at King's Cross than you are in some of the London suburbs. You are in a city where there is always something new to discover. There are wild horses roaming free on the hill behind the university. There are printers' devils tucked away as little statues on Stonegate. It is a city that takes your breath away at the most unexpected moments. I ignore the Minster, I hurry past it with my head down, I forget that you have the city walls, and then I come back to York after a trip away. My heart rises as I head north, and as I step out of the station, I think, this is an incredible place to be, an incredible place to live. And there are all sorts of opportunities while you're here for engagement with media, politics, writing, drama, music, a plethora of outlets, a plethora of organs where you can investigate whatever aspect of that kind of activity engages with you. At the start of my PhD, I was told by our then head of department that it would be a long, dark and lonely road. That was not actually my experience. I met the most beloved friends that I have when I was doing my PhD. More than ever, though, you would have to work really, really hard for an MA or a PhD at York to be a lonely experience. That would have to be a very clearly self-imposed decision. This is a brilliant place to work. You meet people, you bump into people for coffee, and again, those conversations turn to research, turn to what you're doing, turn to what you've learned, turn to what you're reading, and what you're interested in. Doing an MA here brings you into contact with the most exciting people there are, both my colleagues and your colleagues, your fellow students. You become part of a vibrant collaborative experience. You develop independent research skills, you're taught on cutting-edge subjects from the staff who know most about these topics, you have every opportunity to be part of an exceptional graduate community, you're offered free cake every Thursday, you get the chance to pursue your passion. And most of all, you end up producing some of the best work in the country. Now and again, it's been known for academics to grumble about marking. I think this is a terrible, terrible thing, because I think actually reading student work is a privilege and a joy. Don't take that as basis for assigning marking, Sarah. I think reading student work is a privilege and a joy. And one of the things I enjoy most is reading the work produced by our master's students and our PhD students. So undergraduate dissertations, master's dissertations, PhD work. This is work that reshapes how we're thinking. This is work that surprises us, this is work that inspires us, this is work that actually brings us moments of joy and delight in the kind of work that our students are capable of producing. So we want you to be part of that, we want you to be part of this excitement, we want you to be part of this passion, you to be part of this opportunity to be, not only to be part of the best English department in the country, but to help us make sure that we have the best students in the country and that we remain absolutely at the top of our game. That's why York.